Before swords were drawn and empires rose in the name of God, there was only faith, quiet, humble, and pure. In the 1st century after Christ, Christianity was not a religion of power, but of persecution. Followers of Jesus met secretly in dark catacombs beneath Rome. Their symbol was not the sword, but the fish, drawn quietly on dusty walls to identify one another. The empire feared them, not for their weapons, but for their faith. Many were martyred, crucified, or thrown to beasts in the Colosseum. Yet, the more Rome tried to silence them, the more their message grew. Love your enemies, and forgive those who persecute you. Rise of the Christian Empire. Centuries passed, and then history turned. In 313 AD, Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity and issued the Edict of Milan, granting freedom of worship to all. For the first time, the persecuted faith became the faith of emperors. Churches rose where prisons once stood. The cross, once a symbol of death, became a symbol of victory. Christianity spread across Europe, blending with kingdoms and culture. But power, once embraced, came with a cost, for faith and politics soon walked hand in hand. The Byzantine era. From the heart of the Eastern Empire, Constantinople, the new Rome, Christianity flourished under golden domes and hymns of devotion. But the Christian world itself began to split. The Roman Catholic Church in the West and the Eastern Orthodox Church in the East. Doctrines differed, languages divided, and pride built walls between believers. By 1054, the Great Schism officially separated East and West. It was no longer one church, but two, a wound that has yet to fully heal. The First Crusade, 1096 to 1099. Then came the cry that would echo through centuries. In 1095, Pope Urban II stood before thousands and declared, Deus vult. God wills it. He called on Christians to take up the cross and march to the Holy Land to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslim control. Knights, peasants, and nobles alike joined the First Crusade, driven by faith, by fear, by hope, and by promise. They crossed deserts, mountains, and oceans, believing they fought for God's glory. After 3 years of unimaginable hardship, they reached Jerusalem in 1099. The city fell, and rivers of blood ran through its streets. The Holy Land was reclaimed, but at a terrible cost. What began as a quest for faith had become a lesson in human frailty. The later Crusades. For the next 2 centuries, Europe sent wave after wave of crusaders. Each crusade carried different motives, some holy, some political. The Second Crusade ended in failure. The Third Crusade, however, became legendary, as Richard the Lionheart of England faced Salo Nayubi, Saladin, of the Muslim world. Though enemies, both men respected each other deeply. History remembers not only their battles, but their honor. The Crusades ultimately failed to hold Jerusalem, yet they changed the world, reviving trade, knowledge, and cultural exchange between East and West. The fall of Constantinople, 1453. Centuries later, the once glorious Christian capital of the East, Constantinople, stood surrounded. The year was 1453. The Ottoman armies, led by Sultan Mehmed II, prepared for conquest. For 53 days, the city resisted. Priests prayed, cannons roared, and the mighty walls trembled. When the city fell, it marked not just the end of an empire, but the end of the medieval Christian world. The Hagia Sophia, once the greatest church in Christendom, became a mosque. And Europe was forced to look westward, to exploration, discovery, and rebirth. The Reformation, 1500s. Yet within Europe, a new storm brewed, not from enemies, but from within the church itself. In 1517, a German monk named Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the doors of Wittenberg Church. He challenged the church's authority, questioned indulgences, and demanded reform. The movement spread like wildfire, giving birth to Protestantism and dividing the Christian world once again. What began as theological debate turned into decades of religious wars across Europe. Princes chose sides, Catholic or Protestant, and the people suffered. But out of the chaos emerged new ideas, freedom of conscience, personal faith, and the power of the printed word. Christianity and the World Wars. In the 20th century, 2 global wars shook humanity to its core. Christian soldiers prayed in trenches. Chaplains comforted the dying. Churches sheltered the homeless. Nations once divided by creed stood together against tyranny. And when peace returned, the message of Christ, love your neighbor, found new meaning in a world scarred by violence. Christianity today. Today, Christianity is the world's largest faith, spanning every continent, every culture, every language. It stands no longer as a kingdom of armies, but as a kingdom of hearts. Its wars are no longer fought with swords, but with compassion, service, and truth. Churches rebuild lives, missionaries heal the sick, and believers pray for peace, not conquest. The faith that once divided now seeks to unite. From the ashes of empires, from the echoes of battlefields, and from centuries of faith and fire, Christianity endures. Its history is written in courage, in error, in repentance, and in love. For every war fought in its name, there were countless acts of mercy done in silence. The message of Jesus remains unchanged. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And so, the true victory of Christianity was never found in war, but in forgiveness,